how are you all? Hope all of you are doing well. I, Farhana Afroz, lecturer, Department of English, Marsden College, welcome you all to the English online class. Today, I'll discuss about formal letters. We need formal letters in our regular life, so we should know the accurate way to write formal letter. Dear students, you will find formal letter in English second paper and there is 10 marks for formal letter. You know, letters are of two types, informal letter and formal letter. What is informal letter? An informal letter is a letter that is written in a casual manner. It is written to cousins, friends, relatives and family members. The language should be informal here. What is formal letter? A formal letter is a letter that is written in a professional language with a prescribed format for a formal purpose. It can be complaint letter, recommendation letter, cover letter, etc. But the language should be very polite even in the complaint letter. Before you write a perfect formal letter, you should focus on some key points. Number 1, a formal letter should have a formal or official tone and style. Make sure your tone should be sincere, courteous and polite. Number 2, your sentences should be well structured, grammatically correct and precise. Number 3, avoid using informal language and vague sentences. Number 4, avoid using contractions such as isn't, won't, etc. And finally, make sure to keep your letter short and to the point. Students, you know, various types of formal letters are there. Let's know about the types of formal letters. First of all, request letter. A request letter is a kind of formal letter that is written in the context of requesting anything from an official. It's the formal way of demanding any favor from high officials or administrative personalities. For example, write an application to the principal to get a seat in the school hostel. Number 2, order letter. A letter of order is a document that confirms the detail of a purchase of goods or services from one party to another. Order letter can be even of two types. Number 1, purchase order. Number 2, response to a purchase order. Purchase order actually includes the detail of purchasing anything or any goods, and when the seller responds to a buyer to sending those things to that person, that is called response to an order. Number 3, complaint letter. A complaint letter is usually written for faulty products or poor services. A complaint letter should be written to ensure that it is firm but very polite in language. Number 4, reply to a letter of complaint. When responding to a customer's complaint, a seller should respond with a reply letter. That letter is called reply letter of a customer or reply to a letter of complaint. Number 5, promotion letter. A promotion letter is a letter given to an employee when he or she is promoted to a higher designation by the higher authority. Number 6, job application. A job application is a letter you send with your resume to provide the information of your skills and experiences. Number 7. Thank you letter. It is used when one person or party wants to express appreciation to others. A formal letter usually follows a particular format. So dear students, let's see the format of a formal letter. First of all, date. The date is usually written at first on the left-hand corner. And you can see I have written the date in 2 ways. So you can use these 2 ways. Number 2, receiver's address. In a formal letter, the receiver's address is usually written below the date on the left-hand corner of the letter. And here you can see I have written the receiver's address like this way, and in the receiver's address at first you must address the addressee. So here our addressee is the headmaster. After that the address of that addressee is X High School, Uttara, Dhaka. Subject. Subject should be written properly. Actually, it is basically a line describing what your letter is about. The students, make sure that the subject line is precise and short. And remember to start the subject with prayer for or an application for. And you can see I have started the subject like this way. Number 4, salutation. The students, next step is to include an appropriate salutation such as Dear Sir or Madam or Mr. Smith, etc. After that, body. It's an important part. The body should consist of an introduction, main description and conclusion. The students, remember to start or to begin the body with sincere, courteous and polite language such as with due respect or I beg most respectfully to, etc. So with this type of polite language, you are supposed to begin your introduction of the body. After that, you will explain your request or your problems in the body. And finally, you will conclude your body with a good conclusion such as may I therefore pray and hope. Then you will complete your request. And the last portion for the formal letters format is complimentary clause or signature. Dear students, conclude the letter with an appropriate complimentary clause such as yours faithfully, yours sincerely, or sincerely yours, etc. And after completing this or after writing this type of words, this type of complimentary clause, you are supposed to write the name and other information. Now, let's read a sample question. Suppose you are Nawar or Noreen Islam. You are a student of class 10. Your father has been transferred from Dhaka to Chattogram. As you have no relatives in Dhaka, you have to change your school. Now write an application to the headmaster of your school to get a transfer certificate. Students, I think you all have understood how the question will be set. At first, some clues or information will be set in the question and then the question will be there. And in your answer, that means in the application, you have to include this information properly and accordingly. Such as, you cannot write your name by yourself. if the names are given for you. So here the names are given for you, Nawar or Naurin Islam. So you have to choose any name from these two names. After that, you will have to show that you are a student of class 10 and your father has been transferred from Dhaka to Chattogram. And the final clue for you is, as you have no relatives in Dhaka, you have to change your school. So all of these informations you are supposed to include in your answer. Dear students, as I have discussed about the format of a lecture and even I have showed you a sample question, hope all of you have understood what will be the format and how the question will be set in the question paper. Now, let's see a full format of an application or of a formal letter. Here you can see, as I told you before, the date is written. So, 30 July 2021. Then, the headmaster, X High School headmaster, this is the addressee. Then the address of the addressee, X High School, Uttara Dhaka, 12:30. Then the subject is written, prayer for getting a transfer certificate. So this subject is started with the introduction or with the word prayer for. Now at this moment, you can see salutation is given. So in the salutation, we have written like this way, dear sir. And you are supposed to put a comma after dear sir. And keep some space after writing the salutation and then start the new para. And you can see this is the body of a formal letter. So let's read the body of the formal letter. I beg most respectfully to state that I am Naurin Islam, class 10, section B girls, code number 2086. Here, student, you can see I have taken the information from the question. In the question, it was written Naurin Islam can be your name. So, I have taken Naurin Islam as the name in this application. Next, I am a regular student of your institution. My father is a government officer. He has been transferred from Dhaka to Chattogram. I have no relatives in Dhaka. Students, here you can see one more information that is transferred from Dhaka to Chattogram and another information no relatives in Dhaka. So these two information I have collected from the question. So you are also supposed to follow the question properly and you must include those information which will be given in the question paper in your answer. Now let's read the rest of the part of the body of a formal letter. So, I need to stay with my parents in Chattogram. Now, I'm in badly need of transfer certificate to continue my studies in Chattogram. May I therefore pray and hope that you would be kind enough to give me a transfer certificate and oblige thereby. Dear students, may I therefore pray and hope that like this way you must start your conclusion of the body. Dear students, here you can see in the whole body and even in the subject I have used all the polite and sincere words. So you are also supposed to follow this one. Now, complementary clause and signature. In the complementary clause, you are supposed to write some closing words. Here it's written your most obedient pupil or you can write your most obedient student. Then name and rest of the information should be written like here the name is Naurin Islam, class 10, section B girls, code number 2086. So dear students, this is the full picture of a formal letter. So a formal letter will be written just like this way. I hope all of you have understood after our today's class how a formal letter will be written perfectly. Dear students, this was all about our today's class. Hope you all have enjoyed our today's class. See you in the next class. Allah Hafiz.